Today we're going to look at the traditional buck trap and roll escape from mount. So whenever I'm in mount, especially in circumstances where he can throw punches, my number one concern is keeping myself protected, right? If I try and do crazy stuff, if I start reaching up here, I'm going to eat all sorts of shots. So just like if I were standing, I'm going to have my head underneath my hands like this, right? My elbows need to stay down. If my elbows start coming up like this, so if I bring my hands to my head to protect myself, like this, he's going to slide up. Right now my arms are trapped here, so not only am I getting punches, but he can armbar me pretty easily. He's got all sorts of nasty attacks from here. Right, so my elbows stay down tight. So to get my head protected, I have to bring my head up to my hands, right? So one, that tucks my chin, awesome, right? But other than that, one of the main causes of knockouts when people are on the ground, it's not from the strikes. Because he can't use his legs to push and generate lots of power behind these strikes, what actually causes knockouts is your head bouncing on the ground. So if your head's up against it right here and he starts throwing strikes, you have a much greater chance of that head bouncing. So I want to get my head as far away from there as I can. So now when he's throwing, right, there's a very small percentage chance that my head's going to fly back far enough. So my head flew all the way back and it didn't touch the ground, right? Because I'm up like this, right? But if I'm back even a little bit, boom, that bounce is going to happen. That's where I get KO'd. So I'm starting off here, all right? So the next thing, I got to get a hold of one of Myron's hands, right? One of the biggest misconceptions with the buck trap and roll is that you want to get an arm. So lots of people, they'll reach up really far to try and grab stuff, or they'll buck first, right? They'll buck the person like this and reach around and get that arm, all right? The problem with this, one, I never like having to take my hands away from this position, because throughout this entire time, he now has opportunities to land vicious elbows, punches, bad stuff can happen, right? But even if I do happen to get all this and I take minimal damage, here, it's not his arm that actually does the stopping, that stops this move. It's his hand. And his hand can still move. So his hand can still move freely out to the side. So even if I get his leg trapped and I got this arm trapped, I can bridge that direction as hard as I want. He's not going to go over, right? So I actually want to get a hold of one of his hands. So when I'm here and I'm eating those shots, or if it's a grappling situation, gi people will try and reach in your collar and try and choke you like that, right? Self-defense situation, one of the more common things for me, he has this choke. So I'm just going to grab that wrist, right? And if he's throwing punches here, usually when they start throwing punches, they like to linger, because when they throw a punch, their weight comes down. And when the weight comes down, they're going to have to posture back up to throw another one. So it usually goes boom, and they chill there for a second, right? And then he comes back up. So once I get the timing down, I see how when his weight's going to sit there, I'll go boom, and then I'll grab that hand, right? So now I have this hand trapped. One of my feet on the same side as the arm that I have trapped is going to step over Myron's leg here. Just so if I don't have this, I can bump it and that leg's gonna come out. This leg, yeah, and I won't be able to take him over, right? So I'm covering that leg here. So now if I bump, that leg can't come out, right? He can't stop himself from going over. From here, now I lift my hips up, I'm gonna take Myron that direction. One of the tricks here, especially with larger people, they like to try and push here, right? They like to come here, or wrestlers too. Wrestlers, they love to drive his hand over to add extra power to this buck. But the fact of it is I don't need it, right? When I have all this stuff trapped, it's going to be pretty easy for me to take Myron over and end up on top. And when I extend like that, it leaves his arm wide open to an arm bar, right? Any crafty guy is going to catch you there nice and easy, right? So I'm here, right? Myron's throwing, maybe he's choking, doing whatever. He's, boom, I'm going to get a hold of that hand, step over. Now I'm bridging up and over to that side. So my hips come up and then over that shoulder. My hands stayed in tight. Now I'm up on top. So one last little trick you can add to this. There are some guys who, as you bridge, since you have control of this hand, instead they're going to post with this hand. So he's going to reach all the way over to that side and post. And boom. And now here, I can't get Myron over if I keep coming forward. But I can get Myron over if I go backwards. So come on for a second, Myron. Go over here. So you can see what my forward's going to do when I bridge and I reach that bump. Instead of continuing to push into Myron, I'm going to take the leg and slide it under and come away, and I'll end up on top. I call that threading the needle. So I'm here, I've got control. As I bridge and he posts, boom, I'm stuck here. I can't go forward. I thread under, and now I'm able to come up on top. So this is a little trick. Whenever you find that resistance and you get that bridge and it's still stopping you with that far arm, just slide underneath and you'll still come up on top. All right, thanks everybody. See you all next week.